Hi, it's Berkely, and I'm here today to talk about another story that is dear to my heart. When I got into the allied recruiting side, I really didn't have any thought that later on in my life, I would have so many experiences where I got to be around people that were in the allied side. But as my life has continued, it's been pretty great being able to be sometimes a little bit behind the scenes with working with some allied people. So this story is about my oldest daughter, and she has recently started driving, and we live on land. So that also means that she's been driving ATVs and things with wheels for a while. But this last summer, she went out driving around our property with the ATV with a couple of our other neighbors, and she hit a patch that just was a little uneven, and it had her fishtail a little bit more than she was familiar with or able to correct. You know, and as you start driving, things like that can really freak you out. So unfortunately, she hit the patch, fishtailed, and tried to overcorrect, and what that did was it had her thrown off, and then the ATV flipped on top of her. So we were back in the hospital and in another emergency situation. And this time, because it was her hip and she's growing, and you know, you do a lot with your hips, way more than anybody generally thinks, but she had a pretty big break on her right side, which is where she landed, and then a chip on the other side, which is where the ATV hit her. And so we ended up overnight staying, and we ended up getting ordered into PT. So my experience with that, again, we were with CTs, x-rays, everything getting checked out. And it's so great to be so welcomed and explained to and talked to like a human, like a person that is concerned, and somebody else that knows that you're concerned, and being able to explain what they're doing, explain not only to her, but to me, but to doing it in a way that is going to be as least painful as possible, and they're all aware of it. So they're so kind and patient, and making sure that she's comfortable as she can be when they're taking images. But then with this, like I said, we were ordered in some PT. So that meant that she was doing a lot of stuff that was uncomfortable for a little while. As far as walking, she was walking with a walker for a little while, then she was on crutches. So in all, it was about 8 to 10 weeks of her walking a little bit differently along with PT and getting her back to normal. So now everything's back and healed and great, but the PT that she was working with was so patient with her. And I don't think that a lot of times as adults, we realize how they're just tiny adults in some ways. And so we still have to talk to them like they can understand everything and do things the same way. And the physical therapist was very frank with her and was very great with explaining everything to her in a level that she understood, but in an important way that she needed to be able to make sure that she did things that she needed to do the right way, so she was healing properly. You physical therapists, your occupational therapists, all of you do so much for us on the backside that we don't always get a way to say thank you, especially after the fact, when everything heals great and everything is back to normal and we're kind of out of that scary situation. So thank you to all of our PTs and our OTs and all of our assistants that help with that along the way, because it is very important what you do. So thank you.